What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Filsinger Games Character Spotlight with Mike and Brock.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Brock. And once again, we're joined by Jeff Manning 3 weeks in a row. Whoever that is, still don't know who it is.
One of these days you're going to figure it out.
And then we don't want to know.
No.
Tonight, we're talking about 3 cards. Well, 2 cards from this set, Revolution 2098, and a special edition card that went along with it. We've got Doomsayer in his fresh new body.
He stole it.
Stolen.
Stolen body.
Grunge with his keytar. Come on, focus, Grunge.
Which is one of the worst drawings, I think, out of the Bendis set.
Maybe we don't want it to focus. Well, this is Gustovich.
Oh, that's what I meant, out of the Gustovich set.
Yeah.
And is this Bendis's debut here? Maxine Babe?
It very well might be.
And we have Maxine
You
Babe.
can always tell a Bendis drawing because there's no pupils.
There's no pupils ever calling cards. Look at me when I'm talking to you.
I can't focus. Maxine Babe was one of his better drawings, though.
Man,
actually,
I don't know.
There's some line work in her hair instead of just.
Oh,
see that?
What's on her lip? Like, what is that dot?
That's a highlight.
Is it a beauty mark on her lip?
It's herpes. But
that's a cold sore. Leave me alone.
So I guess yeah. we'll start off with Maxine Babe then.
There we go. Not much to talk about here.
Yeah, no. Who was she paired with at the time?
Vanity.
Was it just Vanity, or was he in a tag team?
Mr. Galaxy.
Okay, so
he was Dynamo at this time.
Oh, was he?
Was he?
I think so.
Yeah. He would have been because we did Dynamo.
You would.
No,
I don't even know what that means.
No, this is an SE card.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it wasn't part of the official
special edition card.
Right.
You had to pony up some cash to get Maxine Babe in your Fed.
I think she was like $2.
Hey. With inflation, that's like 40 now.
And Bob Hoffa made some special edition cards that he gave out to a choice few.
I was too little to get one.
I don't know if I want to see that card.
I still need to get one. They're floating around. They're floating around. Yeah. It's one of those urban legends that's true.
Gonna have to see it.
And if anybody who doesn't know what it is, it's a close-up of her chest.
Yes.
Okay, so in 2098, Vanity was not with Dynamo because Dynamo was in the Pillars of Power Choppermatic, and they had Cassandra.
So it's just Vanity then?
I'm just scrolling through the book right now because I don't remember. I played 2098 a little bit ago. Trying to look. Maybe I should have searched. There's so many words in these books. It doesn't even mention Vanity in the book.
Really?
I don't see him. Like, who would he have been feuding with? I'm failing you as a researcher right now.
It's okay.
We all have these books.
We do.
Yeah.
I do wish they come out with a new one, but I don't think they sold well.
Really?
I don't know. They did 2 of them.
Dude, I bought 2 of them and I loved them. Like, I would read that thing
I use these things all the time.
I loved it.
Bugging Tom about making a new one.
I don't see Vanity in the book, though. Where is he? Can I just scroll past him?
Well, he's under V.
Not that book. Thanks for your input, Mike.
Just saying. You're not going to be mean.
Well, it's probably not that important.
That wasn't me. Was Vanity just one of those, like, you could use him in your Fed, but maybe not, like, oh, there he is. I got him. He was on the Traders of Neptune with Cannibal.
Okay.
So he had teamed back up with Cannibal, if you remember, in the classic set. That was his original tag partner as the Space Croppers, the Natural Man and Renegade.
Yep. And then that jerk Tarak had to break him up.
Yeah, what was he thinking? So he was a part of the Renegades, and it was Vanity and Cannibal, Traders and Neptune, with Death's Head as their uh Death's Head as their singles wrestler, and Mutant as like a bodyguard type. Distract rating of 4 for Mutant. By the way.
Useless.
Worse than generic.
And he ended up he lost Maxine Babe in 2104 in the sudden death tournament.
Hmm.
So she
I do
wasn't
remember
very
that.
long.
She came back though.
6 years. 6 years is not a bad run.
She got another card though and came back with
Um,
Brainstorm and all those guys, right? We're not prepared to talk about Maxine Babe.
We're not. I mean, I was not prepared, honestly.
Yeah,
I
she got
don't.
a new
Well,
card in
we kind of
2105.
talked about it a couple weeks ago when we talked about managers. Managers to me are more of an afterthought. I write them into storylines after I roll the matches to see what happens to kind of explain things.
Hmm.
I'm not saying I never use a distract rating, but if they have a manager, it's kind of generic. It's okay. How would this manager affect this match? It's not. They're an afterthought for me.
I had her. Here's a little blue card. She managed people. Now, the last people I had her managing were Vanity and Mutant. I made a new Beauty and the Beast team, but she managed these two guys to 6 Galaxian titles.
What? Tag titles or Galaxian titles?
My Galaxian title's my like lightweight title for
Oh,
the low tier guys.
do we believe Mutant is lightweight?
It
He
goes
is.
by card. It goes by card strength, not
Oh, okay.
weight.
So now if they're not a good card, they're lightweight. So let's just to entertain me. So Man Mountain would be lightweight.
I didn't call it a lightweight. It's Galaxian.
Okay. I love
At
it.
one point, I did call it a lightweight, and I changed it just for that reason. I'm like,
Because I was gonna call you out on a podcast someday and you knew it.
30 years later.
when I had Man Mountain and Brute fighting for the lightweight title.
You have the Crash Holly Hardcore Holly where they're bringing out the scales with
scale.
them, but they're bringing it to say they're lower.
So she, because her distractor, what was it, a 6,
7.
7? So that made her quite good back then.
Hmm.
So she, she wasn't too bad that way.
I mean, if we're talking about Maxine Babe, I mean, I guess for me, we obviously have to talk about Traders of Neptune. With her involved, they were 2-time tag champs. They beat the Gladiators, lost the Code of Honor. Then they beat Code of Honor to regain the titles a month later. They eventually lost them to Game Masters, but they were in 2098. They were an important tag team in my Fed with a total of 4 months of having the titles during that year. They were a surprise for me. I didn't think they'd be in the title scene, but they came on. They got a little run and 2 title reigns, which is big because I only have 1 tag title.
I can't believe they did that for you.
It's, I mean, they did have a manager. That's always a boost, and they did hold my tag titles way back in the day prior to Maxine Babe, back in my Classics Fed 1 time for 91 days. So that they're 3-time champions in my Fed, twice with Maxine Babe. So I
Best
mean,
in the world.
Traders of Neptune, and let's just be honest, Traders of Neptune is a pretty cool name too.
Hmm.
No, it is. Yeah, I'll give you that.
So I mean, it was fun. Cannibal, Vanity, a lot of different wrestlers than each other. Don't forget they had that 4 mutant bodyguard too. Do his roll
Yeah.
4 or lower, and he's important.
Yep.
But he was also. I think he'd be more important for the outside interference.
Yeah.
Everybody had a purpose.
Yep.
Unless they were lost in the shuffle.
Which tends to happen.
Only in Pittsburgh.
Right on. So who should we move into next?
Yeah, because you can't really upgrade Maxine Babe since she doesn't even have a back yet.
She does.
Oh, she's got a back?
Hmm.
Quit staring at
Oh,
her
yeah, she
front,
can
Mike.
wrestle.
She has a
That's
back.
right.
She
That's right.
wrestled.
She can wrestle.
Mike was so distracted by her front, he didn't pay attention to her back.
Yeah. Because I use her in my women's fed.
Yeah,
Not
I don't
very
have
impressive stats, but
No.
I don't have good notes on my women. Every now and again I throw a women's match, and I feel like there wasn't a lot of women at the time, so I'll use it as like a feature match here and there.
yeah,
I don't remember.
I think there are a total of 3 on the roster at this point.
Yeah, I mean there's
And
not a
it'd be,
lot.
well, no, you'd have Amazon. Yeah, it's Amazonia, Maxine Babe, and Miss Liberty at this point.
Well, at this point they added
When
Cassandra.
does Cassandra come in? Oh, yeah,
Cassandra's there.
She's
So you have
there,
4 now. You have 4.
and
A
you
good mini
might
tournament.
I guess Sweet Thing wouldn't have been still around, would she?
That's Miss
Miss
Liberty.
She became Miss Liberty. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud.
You're saying the loud part's quiet and the quiet part's loud?
I'm just a big Ed Sheeran fan.
He is.
No, I mean, yeah. So for me, the women especially were just a special attraction I added here and there when I felt I needed something different on the card.
Hmm.
So I can't even tell you how many matches she had. Whenever I have women's matches, kind of, there's no real feud. It's more about like, come see these two that
Yeah,
happen.
it's the
Yeah,
90s.
they're already in the Fed because people know them. Maybe they bump into each other in a hallway, or it doesn't necessarily have to be,
Is
this
this
type
Stacy
of person.
Keibler?
Yeah, something like that.
Hmm. To power creep her card, I'll give her an option to leave the ring. She doesn't have one now.
That is important.
Yeah.
For some people, that's their only offense.
Yep. Roll low on the out of the ring chart, and all of a sudden you're on level 3 offense.
Yeah.
I'll give her an A ring just to throw people.
There you go.
Not an A ring, sorry, A ropes.
She's got a C now.
Yeah. I'll make her surprisingly good.
Not that. Her card's not terrible, honestly, looking at it.
So, but she's got pluses in both her agility and power.
Didn't she have a high pin rating too?
7-4.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
4. She's got a +2 finisher.
But Vanity has to be at ringside.
Yeah.
who wouldn't want him there?
Exactly.
He's amazing. I mean, he's the only GW wrestler that I know that shared a name with a Smurf. So he's got that going for him.
That's true. Never thought about it like that, but sure. So you want to pop over to say Doomsayer?
Sure.
Do you want me to read the recap of Doomsayer?
Sure.
So Doomsayer 2098 was introduced as the Master of the Universe in true He-Man fashion. He was part of the Entropy team. There was no manager for them, but Doomsayer was the obvious leader. He did have a bodyguard in Tendron the Destroyer. His main feud at the time was Dreadnought, Soldier of Fortune, and Holocaust. He added a finisher named Future Shock, which we've heard that thrown around in years to come. When the opponent is down on his stomach, Doomsayer dives off the top turnbuckle with a knee to the opponent's lower back. That's his finisher. Ouch, is what it says. Background, he's back. Well, at least his mind, anyway. Doomsayer has pulled off his most incredible Frankenstein experiment yet. He has transferred his brain from his body to another body. To put it boldly, he kidnapped someone's body. How much did he have to pay somebody to do that? Who would want Doomsayer's old body? Galactic authorities claim that they are looking into the matter, but there aren't any laws on the books yet about body theft. Whatever the sickening morals behind the shift, Doomsayer has returned to the GWF as a formidable foe. The body he now inhabits is from the same star system as Holocaust is from. Holocaust doesn't like it. Could a blood feud between Doomsayer and Holocaust be in the early stages? For now, Doomsayer is focusing his attention on 2 men, Dreadnought and Soldier of Fortune. He wants to punish Soldier of Fortune for his lack of obedience when he was Tong Soon. And then there's the matter of the hated Dreadnought, a man who dared to challenge the authority of Doomsayer. Blood will be spilled in this feud, promoter. There can be no doubt. Doomsayer is more of a maniac than ever. Mobility has given him physical confidence he never had. According to Doomsayer, the galaxy is in a state of decay. Doom and destruction will be the result as the forces of darkness take over. Doomsayer intends to be master of the universe when the end comes, and he's putting together a team to be there with him. So far, there's a newcomer, Grunge, who we're going to talk about later. But Doomsayer is promising more. What sick plans does the newly resurrected... I can't even get through it. What sick plans does the newly resurrected Dispo have? So there you go. There's Doomsayer.
Yep.
A little bit long. Sorry.
Master of the universe.
Master of the universe. No longer He-Man. Unfortunately, lost his
Nope.
reign.
It's
But
Doomsayer now.
we kind of knew that was coming because if you ever saw He-Man as the Prince, I mean, with the pink tights and whatnot, he probably wasn't going to last long.
No.
I always thought that and I showed the picture that he looked like Mongol.
Yeah.
Superman. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. Nice.
that's him.
Oh, cold cases solved every day here on the podcast.
It
We
is.
know whose body he stole.
Now, I thought that was a pretty weak idea for a feud. Oh, you're from the same star system.
Yeah, it could have been like a family member whose body he stole or something like that.
Yeah, how dare you be in this form? I'm angry now.
Like, that's like, there's some alien in the Milky Way galaxy that's running around in a body, and I'm supposed to care.
I would.
It worked in Men in Black.
True.
You ever seen Edgar? It's like an Edgar mask. No, yeah, it's weak, but he had other feuds. I mean, Tong Soon and Dreadnought at least made sense. A Soldier of Fortune. That makes sense.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what the card is. I got him listed at 6'9" and 300 pounds. I had him just as a big dude. What was I gonna
he's listed at 6'3.5", 298 pounds.
So the weight
I'm
you
close
weren't
on
far
the
off,
weight.
but you had him a lot taller.
That's because I was going with Mongol. I just copied him.
I find it weird he's from the same place as Holocaust because Holocaust had that drill
No,
kind
no.
of the
Same star system, not
same
Yeah.
stars. It's not planet or not.
That's why I said it could be,
Yeah,
that's
even weaker.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you're master of the universe, you piss some people off.
It's true.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I hated this character so much I used him for 3 years.
Hated.
I did not like him. 3 years, and then I'm like out the door. Captured 0 titles.
For the first time ever, it was lost in Mike's shuffle.
He's one of the guys I just did not like.
But he had a move called the convolution chop.
I mean, I kind of liked him, and I think there's multiple reasons. Number one, it kind of reminded me of Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Just the fact that he stole somebody's body, even though he didn't really. Krang didn't really steal a body; he was implanted in a robotic body. But same theory, like he's got a body now. And if you were let's say he's an evil genius, and you're going around, but your weakness is you don't have the physical body, and he solved that problem. I mean, that's a monster to me. So I had fun with this character. I actually had him go on a few win streaks. He never won a title for me either, but he did get opportunities. He had opportunities at the Galaxian title a few times, actually, because, I mean, if he's willing to steal somebody's body, he's willing to do anything. And I thought that was fun.
He's got an interesting card design. He's got 1 down on his card, but he has a 7/4 pin.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he went down, he was easy to beat, but he could fight. I mean, he was there.
His offense was average, though.
Yeah.
+2 finisher. He can only put you down twice on level 2. Couldn't keep you down.
Yeah, he's got no level 2 moves, at least on level 3 offense, though. He's got the death jumping out of the ring on 1 and 2. Yeah, he's not bad.
He didn't even win a specialty thing for me, like no Regal Rumble or Ring Warrior or anything. But I know for a fact I gave him a couple title shots because he was that interesting of a character in my Fed.
Mhm.
That it was like maybe he is good enough to win the title, and he got a couple shots.
Yeah, I used my point system, and he couldn't even get enough wins together to get shots at even a low-level title.
Wow. He definitely challenged for Interplanetary several times, never made it there. But 2098 was the year. I think he feuded with Quasar quite a bit, and I know Quasar had a 147-day reign in my Fed. So, I mean, he was right in the mix. Just never could capture it.
Yeah, he didn't do well. Lost all his feuds. If I looked up his record, it probably wouldn't be that good. I don't even know if he had 10 wins
Wow.
in that time. He's just one guy. Could not, he couldn't get wins.
He was the Guelph of the GWF. I don't even know if that's relevant. I just like to say Guelph.
Guelph is pretty cool.
Sorry for anybody that's watching from Guelph. I have nothing against you. I just love the name. No, but I'm definitely different than Mike. I think he was a very interesting character. I had fun with him. I still have fun with him in my Fed. Just, yeah, he's not gonna win, but he makes it interesting.
He can win though.
He's capable, but it's few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely lower tier.
The DQ of 6 means he gets disqualified a lot too.
Yeah, I don't like a lot of DQs.
And what was his? He was like a
+2,
0
-2.
2. Oh, +2 -2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The better power.
Yeah.
How long did he wrestle for with that body? It was only a couple years, wasn't it?
He got a different body later.
Yeah, but I think they told him he wasn't allowed to wrestle for a little bit, right?
I think he actually got like a robotic body later, didn't
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Because I'm like in 2101, and I don't think he's wrestling this year. I think they told him that he wasn't allowed to wrestle because he stole the body or something.
he? Yeah, he was active with this card from 2098 to 2100.
Yeah, that's what it was. So in 2101, I think they told him, hey, you can't just steal a body and wrestle here.
Then he
And
came
I
back
think,
in 2104 and it was around till 2117.
wow. Yeah, because I think that was you know, letting you know in this book, there's no laws against it yet,
Mm-hmm.
but it gave an easy out if you were going to get him out of the Fed for a while.
Yeah.
The first time I saw a story like this was in a Judge Dredd comic. Somebody stole somebody's body, and they got caught, and they were in possession of stolen property, so they had to hand the body back. So they had to serve their time remaining in just a glass jar, and then he was slowly went insane because he knew he couldn't do anything, and his body was comprehending all the stuff. He couldn't had no way to tell time. He's just stuck in a jar, and they kept him
That's
alive until his time was served.
that's brutal.
Yeah.
Did not know Judge Dredd was so dark.
Oh yeah. Judge Dredd's all about being a little on the dark side. I'm assuming Brock, he's lost in your shuffle.
Pretty much, yeah. This is a dark time for the Brocs Fed.
Does the dark time ever end?
No. Unless
It
I pick it
does.
back up.
It does. An NDW. Tune
Yeah.
in every
Sunday night, 9
Sunday
p.m.
night.
Eastern Standard Time on
Oh,
Twitch.
gosh. I mean, like we had to come to that, Evelyn. Like you just let me and Mike talk, and it's like, and Brock, what about you? Guys, I know this is gonna shock you.
But lost in the shuffle.
I may have used this card twice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Do you even play this game? You're just a good podcast host.
I don't even know if I'm good at that.
We'll find out.
Yep.
Gotta set a new goal.
We can swing on up to the Grunge Man.
All right. Grunge was also an entropy. Obviously, he took orders from Doomsayer. Main feud was U.S. Patriot and New Order. Friend at ringside, his guitar. That's literally in the book. I'm just reading it verbatim. Finisher was Killer Air Guitar, which was Grunge signals that his finisher is coming by suddenly playing intense air guitar when his opponent is down. Then he falls with an elbow to the throat.
Ooh.
Background, and this is a lot shorter, so bear with me here. Is it a coincidence or not? Grunge is from Maxis like Dregs and Mace. Could something significant be brewing here? Grunge is part of Doomsayer's new entropy team. Decay and death are the main themes of this new team, and Grunge fits it all too well. Grunge is a street fighter, period. He doesn't exercise, eat well, or practice wrestling moves. Grunge is content to fight on instinct and cheat when necessary.
Grunge is the
Grunge,
Sandman.
yeah, Grunge wears old, ripped clothing to his matches. His dedication to the darker aspects of heavy metal music of the late 20th century is complete. His obsessions with death and decay are sincere, and he hates the goody-goody image of U.S. Patriot. But what was he doing on Maxis? There you go.
You just
Here
don't
he
know
is.
with
I
these
mean,
young kids.
it is fun to go back and read the profiles because we all have these images of the characters as we've used them in our Fed. But to go read the actual like book, it's like,
Actually, I've always tried. Is that a tattoo? What is that tattoo of? Is it a really bad
I think it's a
dragon
devil's tail.
slayer?
what on his like belly?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, what's the
it's like it's
colorized
got
version look
wings
like?
and
Let me pull it up.
is there a color version? Oh yeah, there should
Well,
Not
there's
officially.
online they're all colored.
There he is.
So there you go. It's a green like dragon's tail. And he's got red flames on his arm too.
He does.
He hasn't shaved in a while, but he looks to be okay with that.
and he just looks unhappy. And one giant skull earring, like that thing is huge.
What about the hoop?
Well, he's got the hoop on the other side. I actually like the grunge character. I thought he was interesting.
He's got a Minecraft guitar though.
Minecraft. Grunge predates Minecraft.
Probably not this drawing, this colorized drawing.
1993 kind of fits in with that grunge music era near the end of it.
He could smell like Teen Spirit.
He probably does.
Now he didn't do anything until he started with me, until he started teaming up with Metalhead.
Yeah. This card's not very good.
No, it's interesting. It's fun, but yeah, it's not very good. I needed him to be with Metalhead too to do anything.
As now he has captured 5 Intergalaxian tag titles with Metalhead. So they're a fairly solid tag team.
You know, I still only have the one tag title. They did interrupt a 308-day title reign from the Gladiators. But then they only held it for a month. They dropped it to the Gladiators again. But it was one of those stories that was interesting. They fought the Gladiators several times, lost to them, eventually earned another title shot, actually beat them. Then they did drop them the next month, but at least they got over that hump. That's where I'm at with them. They're just one-time tag champs.
Yeah, like they've done quite well. Like I don't think I did move them up to the GWF. So they're up with the big boys. So I don't think they'll do that well up there. But you never know. They have the ability to upset, like Grunge. He's good. He's got that good level 2 offense.
He does. Keep knocking you down.
Yeah, they're a mid-level tag team, but they can definitely upset some people.
Yeah, like he's not going to be the upsetter guy. You know, yeah, he puts you down, but he's only got +1 finish. His stats aren't that great, but he does have a fair amount of tags, so he can get out.
Mm-hmm. His only down is protected by a tag. Or you can leave.
And I remember I had him coming in at 6 foot 225.
He's 5'11", 244 pounds.
No, he's too skinny for that.
He doesn't work out. He's fat.
He doesn't care what he eats. He's CM Punk. Skinny fat. In the words of Triple H.
Yep. Yeah, power creeping on him. I think I just upped the finisher rating.
Oh yeah, we forgot the power creep Doomsayer, but oh well.
We can go
It's
back to that.
still someone else's body. That's
Yeah, there you go.
Get you a better body.
Yeah, I'd bump that finisher rating up.
Yeah, I'd give him a +2 at least, or a 3.
He'd be solid.
I wouldn't go high as 3.
No,
I'd give him a +2.
He's not there. If he played less air guitar from the top rope and just jumped.
Or if he worked out a little bit more and his agility dropped.
I really wanted him and Metalhead to just be wild stallions.
Shut up, that's the tag team I call them.
Is it?
No.
Yeah.
It is now, though.
I just wrote a side quest for them. It's going to be Grunge and Metalhead's excellent adventure. We know it'll follow eventually with a bogus journey.
Yep. So yeah, that's Grunge.
I thought he was a good character. I thought he was fun. And I believe they had the guitar on a stick match.
They did.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Forget what it was called.
Guitar on a stick match.
I think it might have been.
Nailed it.
I think it might have been that.
There's no Judy Bagwell on a
forklift.
match, forklift match.
That's a guitar on a stick. Oh my god.
Maxine Babe in a cage over the ring.
That's about as interesting as the was it Barry Windham versus Ron Bass? It was the U.S. title versus the or the Heritage States title versus a saddle. That'd be one impressive saddle.
Yeah, don't knock a saddle; those aren't cheap. I'm not speaking from experience. I'm just assuming.
And our topic of the week is strictly tag wrestlers.
Strictly tag, not venturing off into singles. Which honestly, when I suggested the topic, I was thinking Grunge more was a tag team wrestler, but he was introduced as a singles wrestler initially for a year.
Yeah.
A lot of GWF guys were, but I think GWF, even to this day, to my knowledge, does a pretty good job of keeping tag teams as tag team wrestlers most of the time. I mean, some of them do venture off, obviously, but you don't see it in modern wrestling nearly enough anymore.
No, it's kind of a lost thing. All the tag teams are kind of thrown together with guys that they don't know what else to do with.
Yeah, not all, but a lot of them nowadays. You still have your Usos, you've got your Bucks, you've got your, even the Acclaimed's hot right now. I mean,
right.
People love the Acclaimed, but I mean, eventually they'll probably break up.
Probably.
But yeah, it's a lost art, and nowadays it's just in wrestling you just don't see it.
And the first one was Incredible Badger.
Yeah, very good tag wrestler, both with Battering Ram and then with Iron Mane.
Yeah. And I remember the first time seeing it, because I was caught up back then.
Back in
the 80s.
I think it was 88. I think it was 88. Just like seeing a double finisher like that, a single and a tag. Like Burrow Blast, Anyman Drop, Burrow Blast, Anyman Drop. You hit them up a couple times and boom, boom, boom. But when you have a guy like Badger, because Badger was the main tag guy, Ram could go singles or tag. And it did work out well. Like he did with Ram, he captured my Intergalaxian tag, but with Iron Mane, he captured Intergalaxian and heavyweight tag. So I thought Ram was always the better wrestler, but with Iron Mane, they just seemed to work out better. And then
Good.
And then when Tom tried something new with something like the Keepers of the Stone, where
Oh
both
yeah.
guys had tag finishers,
Yeah.
so you couldn't even really pick one guy to, to try to be, the single star, who's going to be the Shawn Michaels, who's going to be the Marty Jannetty of the group.
Poor
I
Marty Jannetty.
I
He was
had
good.
my money on Marty Jannetty the whole time.
He was good.
Caught me off guard when Shawn Michaels is the one that got over.
Marty couldn't get out of his own way.
Well, couldn't get out of the barbershop windows way either.
Had to go right through
Like a coward running away from Shawn Michaels. I already closed down my spreadsheet. I didn't know you were going to bring up Battering Ram and Incredible Badger, especially.
Yeah,
But
why would
no,
we talk about those guys during a tag only match?
I didn't know where you were going. Ram obviously was successful somewhat as a singles wrestler, and Badger, yeah, I mean that's a great example. The tag finisher. Andy Men were strong. They had a couple reigns for me. Though they had the longest reign in modern GWF history for me. I don't compare them to the guard or the Game Masters. Game Masters had a longer reign in the early classics, but Animal Pack has the longest title reign of any tag team I've had besides them at 644 days.
That's pretty long.
So yeah, it was from April of 2093 until January of 2095.
How many defenses did they have?
My teams always do one a month, unless there's something special that comes up. So all my champions defend one a month. I like that. But yeah, so yeah, I mean the tag teams, and GWF especially because I like tag teams. If you're a tag team guy, you're a tag team.
it.
There's very slim chance you're going to move to singles.
Yeah.
It would be something crazy would have to happen. Like you'd have to survive at Survivor Series and nobody else does on your team, or
Yeah.
somebody has to get injured, or there has to be a storyline. Otherwise, if you're a tag guy, you're a tag guy for me.
hmm
Unfortunately, that means you don't get booked as much because I don't play as many tag matches. I think that's because I grew up a DoDF guy.
hmm
I throw one on a card here and there, one on maybe a big show will have 2 or 3 tag matches at most. It's just not something. But I will say that growing up a WWF fan, I look back at teams like, say, the Killer Bees. You had your main teams like the Dream Team and British Bulldogs or Strike Force or even Demolition when you got to that era and stuff like that.
They
But
had a lot of tag teams.
you had a lot of tag teams like the Killer Bees, the Fabulous Rougeaus, guys that were that next tier down, but they felt important to me.
hmm
Like even though they weren't the main attraction. So I feel like GWF fits that niche for me. Like, yeah, you may not be the greatest wrestler, but when you team with this guy, you have a shot.
No
hmm
wonder you can't say Kraken's name right. Niche.
I'm not Canadian. I'm not changing. I'm too old for that. Um. Anyway,
They're starting to
tangent.
put together tag teams now in the WWE.
They are, but that's one of the concerns I have with them selling the company. If Vince McMahon's back in charge, I got a feeling that'll go away. Because during the Triple H era, we really got more tag teams. We
We
got more
did.
factions.
hmm
Um, I know Vince McMahon from just historically is not a fan of either,
Right.
which is disappointing because I think it's proven that factions and tag teams. Look, I mean, and you got AEW right now that's the extreme opposite.
Everybody, you can't even keep track of who's in what
Everybody's in a
faction.
faction, and there's so many tag teams. It's
hmm
like, so neither one of them to me is really doing it right. But I think
No.
WWF was approaching it
hmm
with a good mix. And now I'm very fearful that they won't achieve what I prefer in my wrestling federations.
hmm
You just don't see. I mean, the Usos are a great example of a lifelong tag
They
team, but
broke
they're
them up.
brothers. But yeah, they've had a little bit lately. But I mean, in a right way.
Yeah.
They
I
did
mean,
it with
it's not going to be permanent, I don't
they
think.
did it once because of injuries,
Now they did it for
and they
The
did it.
Rock.
The Rock, yeah, they did it, and they did it in a way that really got Jey Uso over.
hmm
I mean, so I don't hate it.
Right.
My
And that's just
question,
to get to them at Mania, I think.
yeah, but my question now with them is okay. We see We now know them as individuals. You don't wonder which one's which.
Mm-hmm.
What do they use as their finishers? It's still the same old
They
super
still do the
kicks and the
splash.
Uso splash, and it's like you got to develop. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
to me,
Well, Jey Uso's doing this now. And the crowd's going crazy.
no, that's great, but that's not a move, Brock. That's not a.
But that's all that the WWE
That's
fans worry about is
maybe if he
sing
did
along
this
stuff.
and then did a drop or something,
Yeah,
like they are really about the sing along stuff now, and it has been that
mm-hmm.
way for a while. Seth Rollins has been super successful with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Look at LA
that's
Knights. That's the only reason he's even over.
well, that's not sing along. That's catchphrase. Those are two
It's the
different
same thing.
categories. They are
They
not.
they say it
But
with them.
Sing
but if we can
along is not catchphrase. They're
but
two
if we
different
can veer you
things.
guys back to the GWF,
Why would we do that? Where were you last time? Just Brock and I were recording 2 weeks ago, and we never went back to the GWF. We got
We just
lost
did
in the
this.
shuffle. The whole time it was just lost in the shuffle. Nobody's gonna watch that episode. It's okay. Anyway, welcome back, Mike. Um,
now
so yeah, GWF wise, I mean, you seem to be more knowledgeable on that. I can't speak of specifics, but like it has a lot of classic tag teams. So obviously, every Gladiator team that was put together, the Greek Gods, the Animal Pack, as you said. I just even like there's certain ones that come up that you get excited about, like New Order. I was excited to bring in. Um, the one we just talked about, Generation X, I was excited to bring in. Um, just there's so many great tag teams,
And they
and
still bring him in.
yeah,
yeah,
they
like
still bring them in. Like it's still relevant today. We just talked about the Ultimate Fighters
Mm-hmm.
on the Kid and Shamrock episode. I mean, that's a great tag team.
Right.
the Cosmic Forces were strictly a tag team,
Oh yeah, fantastic.
and
Cosmic Forces were awesome.
those guys never captured my heavyweight title, but they were they captured a few intergalactic titles,
They
and
had one title reign for me.
and they were guys where they couldn't do singles unless the other guy was at ringside, but it just didn't make sense then.
Yeah, but looking back on my tag titles, you almost never see two random guys thrown together. I mean, I think the closest you have, and they were a tag team at the time, were the Henchmen, Comrade
Mm-hmm.
Terror and
Yeah.
Executioner, but they were listed as a tag that
Right.
year. But yeah, you just don't see that. I don't pair up random guys to my tag titles. So I guess that's a good reflection of it too, is that when given the option, I don't pair random wrestlers to be tag teams.
Because there's
what
not a
about
need to.
when Tom pairs up guys like Galactic Punisher and Justice, the Galacticops,
Yeah.
and you throw them in as a tag team? No, I tried that tag team. They weren't successful. And I think the reason they weren't successful was because they weren't a legitimate team. Like you have two singles guys. Who do you put in on level 3? Well, probably be Galactic Punisher, but he's the guy you also put in on level 2.
See, and I don't do the who do you put
Yeah.
in. I don't. We talked about this a little bit a couple weeks ago. Me and Brock did. I don't do strategies. I do a lot more randomization when it comes to tags. I roll to see if they're going to tag or not. Like
Oh
a
yeah.
one, like a
Oh,
one, what? Like I'll roll one die, and 1 through 3 means he tags. 4 through 6 means he stays in the ring. That type of
when they're on
stuff.
offense?
Yeah, I don't strategize. I do it as I want it to be organic. I like the randomization of it, of who's going to be in the ring and who's not.
Yeah, but that takes away from like when you have guys like say if I show you an example in real life wrestling, the Midnight Express, there are two average looking guys, not big muscular guys, even the Rock and Roll Express, but they thrived on how many tags they could get in. So this guy's better at this. Offense was Stan Lane on the Midnight Express would soften him up, and Bobby Eaton would finish him off with the Alabama Jamma type thing.
Well, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying I like the randomization of who's in the ring.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to be successfully able to make every tag. Even if they're on offense, I feel like there's things that distract, there's things that go on. And I feel like too many people's lineage of their tag team titles probably relies on the fact that, Massacre was in on offense and Brute was in on defense, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not, to me, that's not a real wrestling match, even if it is good strategy. This isn't a competitive game to me. This is a creative game. and I like working around those things. So if for some reason Brute gets stuck in the ring on offense and he happens to pull it off, it's a big deal. Other people won't have that because they'll be like, "Oh, he tagged right out to Massacre again."
I can see now how Vanity and Cannibal won your tag titles.
A lot of distractions.
Mm-hmm. It's a good story.
It is. I mean, I don't know. I love randomization. I like the randomization aspect of wrestling, card dice game, and so I utilize it as much as I possibly can. And you never know, like in my mind, when I'm playing a match like that, let's say you got a weaker person in the ring on offense, maybe their partner got knocked down by the other team
Mm-hmm.
because they know he's going to try to tag out. And so this guy's stuck in the ring. I like that element. I write that stuff after the results come out. In my mind, I play it like that.
What if you have something like, we'll use like, Incredible Badger. Okay, you have a legitimate tag team guy.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried swapping just random guys in to see if something fits and works, other
No.
than the regular guy?
Not really. I kind of go by the book with tag
Yeah.
teams.
Like for me, I ran into that with Mace. Mace and Dregs did not do well for me, but I teamed up Mace and Jack of Diamonds, and they're freaking unstoppable for me. And then on one occasion, I teamed up on the suggestion of Paul Barnes, Massive and Pulsar Prime. They did, for one loss record, one of the best in, percentage wise in my GWF history. They were like 27-3.
Yeah, I really don't do that. The closest I can say to that was in the early Classics era. I needed a tag team. I combined Commander Sam and KO Keller, and they were the Knockout Stars.
Ooh.
They did have two reigns, once beating the Minsons, losing to Dorado Sundown, then beating the Guardians. That was when the Guardians saved the Federation from the Dorado Sundown, but Knockout Stars defeated them for the titles to become the new face of the tag team scene until they lost it to Paladin Power. That was really the only time. I think that's the only time I even recall in my tag team history of champions, especially, that I named the team. Like they weren't an official team. And I enjoyed it. I mean, looking back, it was an important part of my history, and I really enjoyed the team, but I don't do that. Now I don't have to. There's no reason to go on a whim when there's so many teams.
Yeah, I thought about if no, I'm not going to do a restart, but when we did our randomization, and we all picked a group, you ended up with Massive and Lord Nexus as a team, and I'm like, that could have been devastating in the very first, especially in the first 24.
Mm-hmm.
You got the fastest guy in the GWF and the strongest guy in the GWF is a tag team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lord Nexus has a tags. Massive has, 8 names, which is good as a tag.
Yeah. But nothing's going to top the tag team of Dreadnought and Comrade Terror, though.
That's
Those guys are going places.
How's that even possible? In a galaxy far, far away.
Alternate timeline.
Yeah, that is definitely an alternate timeline.
Different dimensions, alternate timelines,
Yeah.
all converging into Brock's Fed.
It's real. It can happen.
Way ahead of your time.
So it's amazing to me all the things that were lost in the shuffle, and that one wasn't.
It was the Dreadnought 2105 special edition with Comrade Terror.
Oh, you so quantum leaped your Fed. It's
Yep.
crazy.
I didn't know any better.
Yeah, that's what they all say. So you have done something inappropriate in your life.
Yep, just once.
Comrade Terror and Dreadnought, that was it.
They were a great team.
Yeah. It's almost like they had known each other their whole lives.
They almost shooted Whiplash and Executioner.
They did. They would have destroyed those guys.
Yeah, nobody can use a thumb screw as their finisher.
Comrade Terror doesn't even have a thumb. Wait, no, he does.
He has an opposing hand.
Yeah, right.
I can't grab anything. I have flippers.
He should.
There's not much terror there. That's Plethador. Comrade Plethador.
I mean, he doesn't look like the same character.
Near does Dreadnought. Oh, you mean the original Comrade Terror?
Yeah.
They do not look like the same character at all.
They don't.
Because that Trans-Evolver
Yep.
deteriorated him. Anyway. No, but I think the GWF all encompasses what I need in tag team division that I don't get in real life.
Yeah, there's plenty of tag teams, a lot of good ones.
There is.
And I can't think of a time period within the game where they didn't have a bunch of tag teams.
Not unless you're going back to early classics or maybe 2087. I mean, there were still tag teams, but there wasn't a lot.
Right, but there were only 24 cards total, so
yeah. But you could make tag teams and even gave you options for some of the single guys.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one thing too about the game is, I think because there are people like I really enjoy tag teams, so and I think Tom does too. That's why he made it. So there's always, you have option A or option B, singles or tag, singles or tag.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys are more specialized, so they kind of move up to the top, and that's the way he just always wrote it.
I really enjoyed tag teams, but sometimes, especially in those early years when the cards weren't quick to act, those tag matches could be brutal.
Mm-hmm.
They could take a long time when you're talking about pin saves,
right,
and everything. Like I remember, I have a yearly tournament, my King of the Ring. I call it the Ring Warrior Tournament. I tried to bring in a Guardian Cup in honor of the Guardian saving my Fed at one point, and do the same thing in tag. And I did it for maybe 4 years, and I was so burned out. I'm like sitting around just playing 8 to 9 tag matches got monotonous to me. In those early years. I was like, this is brutal. I'm never gonna get through it. Now, once you add in other things and add ones and this and that,
it did help.
It got a lot easier. But knowing that, he's got a 6 pin now, and I'd roll and it's gonna get interrupted again. And I know you're only allowed 2 pin saves and 1 outside interference, but then you add in a distraction if they have a manager, and it all adds up.
Mm-hmm.
The tag teams I liked, the tag matches sometimes got long.
They did. On my streaming
Most-
fed that I run every Sunday night at 9 p.m. on Twitch, Eastern Standard Time. I did a
Shameless
tag team
plug.
tournament, and I only did 2 matches per week in the tournament because it was just too. It was a 32 team tournament, but I still only played 2 matches a week just because they took so long, and you lose the people.
Yeah, I once a year I have a 64-man tag tournament, which all my feds come together. And let me tell you, some of those matches go nice and quick, but others can drag out.
Mm-hmm. That's the risk you take with a tag match.
Yeah. But you can have that too in singles too. Like
true.
Everybody has tried that Brute versus Man Mountain once.
Right.
Well, and the other thing you get in tag matches I don't like as much as a lot of DQs.
Mm-hmm.
It offers a lot of DQs that I'm not a fan of the matching in DQ. I mean, every now and again, it's great, but too many DQs when you get to pin saves and outside interference and stuff. It's like I played that whole match and it was amazing. They all got these tokens and then it ended in a DQ. It's like,
yeah, but that happens a lot in wrestling too.
It does.
Jim Cornette's tennis racket to the back. Oh,
yeah, and
Dylan's loafer.
Because my early classics I only did one card a month. It was really pivotal for teams when they had the tag title. DQs were a good thing for them. Now that I have weekly shows on top of my things, if they get a DQ in a pay-per-view, they'll defend the titles on a weekly show.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not going a month without a legitimate defense. So that go ahead.
Oh, so you've never ever do a 6-man tag then, or
for titles? No, I've done
I
plenty
had one for a little bit, and it didn't last long. I think I started it in 88 or 89, and I think I ended it by 91.
Yeah, I've done plenty of 6-man matches. I like them to progress storylines and stuff, but I don't. It's not a title. It's not a
Yeah.
regular have to use thing.
Mm-hmm. That would take forever.
Yep. The only title I didn't have defended on a regular basis. It was because all my titles are defended pretty much weekly, at least once a week. I don't do any of the Hulk Hogan 30-day limit.
Mm-hmm.
I like my champions to be fighting champions, except for the 6-man tag because I had it first couple and I'm like, oh, these are gonna be long.
I like champions to get notoriety by long title reigns, and I don't mind. I almost feel like it's an honor for them to appear on your show, and that's why I like the once every 30-day kind of
Yeah,
title
that's what I
reign.
do too.
I just feel like it adds notoriety to the title.
Oh, but then I look at it like, okay, Gunther just beat Honky's record, right, for the most title defenses. Do you know how many title defenses Gunther has?
No.
26. Do you know how many title defenses a Honky Tonk Man
It's
has?
probably over 100.
125.
Yeah.
I see that with the Roman Reigns stuff too.
Yeah.
He's up there in the 1,000-day range. He's only had like 50 defenses, but you know what? If you do the math and you do it one defense every month, he really only needs about 38 defenses. It's like
That's where you look at Bruno Sammartino, and he had like what 600 defenses or something like that in
yeah,
that long reign.
is it more honorable to be a fighting champion? Maybe. It's smarter to not be.
Oh yeah, like I saw Ric Flair defended the NWA World Title. It was like in August one time, and they showed all his matches, and it was like 33 defenses
In a day.
in the month because twice he fought.
Twice on, yeah. But let's be honest, though. I lived the Hogan era, and I know that wasn't quite the 600 defenses in a 1,000-day span, but it was still 200 defenses in a 1,000-day span.
Which looks like a lot right now.
Which looks like a lot right now, but he fought guys like Nikolai Volkov. You knew he wasn't going to win. King Kong Bunny, you knew he wasn't going to win. They were legitimate threats.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, so do you really want Roman Reigns to face, whoever?
Rick Boogs.
Yeah, like, does that defense really give any notoriety to his title reign? And Bruno Sammartino was doing stuff like that. He's fighting every Tom, Dick, and Harry that came his way, and he's
true.
Did it add anything to it? No, I don't think so. So I don't think necessarily either is wrong. You used to have to do that because you wanted your champion on the card so people would pay money to see them. Now they have television deals. People are going to see them anyway.
It's true.
So
it's a different period.
Yeah, it's a whole different era. The whole fighting champion. I don't know if we should say this. Is this going to ruin your show if I say it's scripted?
Champions of the Galaxy is a shoot.
Yeah, Champions of the Galaxy is a shoot. But I just the fighting champion thing. Yeah, sure. If it was UFC, yeah, you quit ducking people. Do I wish professional boxers had to defend their titles more? Yes. But for professional wrestling, nah, it doesn't bother me at all if they do it once a month and they only appear on the bigger cards, and because it makes sense. That's almost like you've earned it. You're now the champion. You can decide when you defend it as long as it's done on a consistent basis.
So how do you feel about Roman Reigns not appearing on TV since SummerSlam?
I mean, I'm not thrilled about it, but I mean, has he not appeared in person? Yeah, but he's in a lot of the storylines. You can't say he's not in a lot of the storylines. Yeah,
he's on the phone every week with Paul Heyman. You don't
still
hear
got
his voice though.
He's still got Paul Heyman. He's still got the Usos. You still got Solo. He's still one of the main focuses.
He is.
So is him not being there really hurting him right now? Probably not, because
you're going to want to see.
You're going to want to tune into the next big.
In a long time.
You're going to want to see him at the next big show getting his ass kicked. That's what you're going to want, and that's what they're selling.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
I mean, so am I ecstatic about it? No, I'd like him to at least make appearances.
I always liked him moping around in the back.
Yeah. Oh, I liked him standing there while all the other guys are talking. He just puts his hand up, tells them to stop talking all of a sudden, and then he says like one line. That's perfect. You know what I mean? But that's perfect. The wise man, the Usos, Solo, they're going at it, bickering about this and that, and he's just like, and he makes the decision. I mean, what's wrong with that?
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we got on that tangent. It's
That was
far
my
away
fault.
from tag teams.
That one was my fault. I'll take.
Tag teams.
This is going to be edited, cut, and put into a different week.
Yeah, this is a different topic.
Wait, I gotta go change my shirt then.
Coordinate. Mark down what you have on right now.
I've worn that. No, I can't wear that. I need to buy this shirt.
We're peeking behind the curtain again.
Yep. Sorry. Breaking the fourth wall.
But we should probably wrap this up.
Yep. Let's wrap
Before we
this up.
reveal all our secrets that we have more than one shirt.
I've ruined it. Your show is canceled after scripted.
All right, everybody, thanks for watching. If you have not done so yet, please click that subscribe button below us. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Also, while you're here, please scroll on down to the description where you'll find all of our friends who make Filsinger Games related content, including the official Filsinger Games podcast, Roll Up, the Legends team's Uncharted Territory, Dizzy Dice from Lee Longpre, the Filsinger Games fan cast from Grant. Here on YouTube, you'll find Heartland Championship Wrestling from Dave Little. After further review, Brad Plays 81. And I think that's it.
Oh, there's something that comes up every Sunday night. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, on Twitch. Over on Twitch, there's BrocsterBuilds.
I thought that was on
Eastern.
Discord.
It could be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I run my bootleg fed live on Twitch. I have a lot coming up in October, some giveaway cards, stuff like that. Check it out. It'll be a lot of fun. That's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch. Link below. We also have Grant here on YouTube, solo promoter. That's what I forgot to mention. How can we forget him? We can't forget him.
Can't forget Grant.
Solo promoter here on YouTube. Check it out. Yeah. That's all I got, everybody. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Yep. Good night.
Good night.
I can't press the button and do that.